En français, je dirais n'écoutez pas ce que les gens disent. Restez concentré sur vos. How do you say that in French? Restez concentré sur votre vision et ce que vous croyez. Croyez en vous. Et tout ira bien. Ça ira. Ça va le faire. And in English, I'll say, it's kind of like, it's super like random and regular, but I think just like, believe in yourself. And it's okay to accept help from other people. You can't do it all by yourself. I think that's one thing that I had to learn. I can do it all by myself. I'm really strong. I came in this country by myself, but I had help. People helped me open the door for me. And it's okay to accept help and to put your ego aside. Because that's how you do it anyway. I have to put my ego aside every day for work. Because I'm like, I know how to do that, but you just have to, listen and do it regardless. So, yeah, I'll say that.
I think that was beautifully put in both French and English. I will have to practice some French, but I thank you for that. That's a beautiful lesson, right? We gotta check our egos at the door.
Bonsoir tout le monde. Aujourd'hui, je suis avec le World Greatest Game, and I'm switching in English now.
Wow.
And my name is Leslie Sidora.
Well, shit, y'all, we got a treat today. What she said, I believe, translating, is welcome to another episode of World's Greatest Game. Just super excited to have a family friend over. Leslie Sidora came all the way in, busiest woman out here. The model extraordinaire, Renaissance woman, entrepreneur, influencer, bilingual queen. I don't know. We got to come up with all kind of stuff. The only woman so far to get me to wear a collared shirt. I done put on my good jewelry. I got a haircut today. There's a lot of stuff happened. I stopped drinking early, to make sure I was ready. No, but all seriousness, I am honored. Thank you for taking the time to pull up,
me.
coming hot off the set, and coming in town. Really excited for this conversation. We've been talking about it for a little while now. Mm-hmm. We have a lot to cover, but I think in the spirit of the theme that we have for World's Greatest Game, which is just self-mastery, I am so curious into how you have gotten to become so confident, right, in what we see not only online but in real life. You're not one of these folks that has a persona online that doesn't match in person, right? You exude so much positivity and excellence that I really want to get a lot of that out, and we're going to get to the story. But before we get there, right, we got to get into just your background. For folks who don't know who you are, all that, talk your talk, drop all that in here. So tell us about you.
All right. So my name is Leslie Sidora. I am French, born and raised. My first language is French. I learned English maybe like 7-8 years ago.
And it's better than mine. But that's awesome.
I'll take that. Thank you. I'm getting there. But learn English while being a nanny in New York. That's where I started.
Okay.
That's how I've learned and fell in love with New York. And I told myself that I'll come back at some point. I didn't know how, but I promised myself that I'll come back and I'll figure it out. 7 years forward, I'm moved to LA fully. I work as a full-time model. Influencer.
That's it.
And I think this is me for a little short story.
I mean, but you have, look, I'm gonna hype you up because there's folks that say they're a model, but you really model. You model, right? Shout out to Haha Davis. I gotta say it twice. I mean, please share some of the brands, some of the companies that you've done campaigns for, because I just saw your billboard on Sunset. So we're not talking about like you're not just modeling online.
That
like,
was a big one.
You had a massive billboard.
Yeah, that was a big one. So that billboard was for Good American. Who else do I work for? I also do Skims. I got a chance to work for Target, Old Navy, Abercrombie and Fitch. Who else do I have in mind right now? I think these are like the main ones. Pretty Little Thing.
Fenty.
Oh Fenty. Yeah, I did Fenty too. Who else? I think that's some of them. Yeah.
So, I mean, these are massive brands that a lot of folks aspire to get in campaigns with.
Me too.
You've knocked those down. When did you get into modeling? Right? How did that start? Like, give me the origin story, because like, how does one get into the field of modeling aside from just being like, gorgeous? Like, what like comes with that? Because that's a real skill set.
Well, I had to build this skill.
Okay.
Just to be honest, I started from scratch. I didn't know anything about modeling. I did my research and everything, but I started 4 years ago in New York.
Wow.
I met this photographer. We just clicked right away.
You meet a photographer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing just off the normal Brooklyn vibes, right? So, he's like, "Yo, you got something here." So he kind of gives you a little bit of a boost of confidence. Then what? Like, how do you go about that?
We worked a lot. I stopped going out. I was going out a lot. It was summer.
New York, yeah. That's it.
New York summer are the best. So I stopped going out. I focused on learning how to pose, learning how to fix my face, how to look at a camera, understanding a camera.
How do you do that? Is that like off of YouTube? Like what?
I mean, yeah, the knowledge is definitely on YouTube, but I'm more of a book person. So we looked at a lot of books, and he had a lot of cameras too. So it was just easy to,
Amazing.
explain to me and show me. But really, like a lot of documentaries on YouTube,
Okay.
Hulu, Netflix, everything was
Okay.
what.
So you
helped me
guys
the
just
most.
practice, trial and error.
Practice
You just kept
and practice
shooting,
and
shooting.
practice every day.
Wow.
Every day for like a good 6 months. And basically, so because as a foreigner, it's hard to be here.
Yeah.
And stay in this country.
Yeah.
So I just had a tourist visa.
Okay.
So my time was limited here in New York. I knew that I had 3 months. So we kind of made a deal, and we said, okay, listen, we're gonna work on that for 3 months. You have until August to make it work. If it doesn't work, well, then you just go home, go back to your 9 to 5, because I had a 9 to 5 before.
Okay.
I was really just coming here for vacation.
What was your 9 to 5? I'm like super curious now.
So
like, what was it?
I was talking about it today at work. I have a bachelor degree in logistics and supply chain.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that.
I used to ship containers on vessels.
Man, we
for
need to talk about.
CMA-CGM.
We got to talk about my 3PL help I need on Sunday to Sunday. I didn't know I had a whole logistics expert too. Okay, so that was the 9 to 5.
Yeah, that was the 9 to 5.
From shipping containers to Fenty campaigns.
Yes, sir.
Damn, if that might be your book right there. Wow, that's incredible.
You got the title right.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay, sorry. Yeah. So you had the pressure on from the timestamp.
Exactly. So, and I didn't have anything to lose.
Okay.
Because it was either you try, and if it doesn't work, well, then you just go home and at least you tried. Okay. So at first I was kind of like, I was laughing about it, but I took it seriously, but laughed about it. I was like, there's no way people will get interested in me.
Yeah.
Because why would they? And we started taking pictures, and the pictures actually worked. Because I posted on I think I started Instagram 4 years ago, and I had 4,000 followers.
Wow.
5,000, maybe 5,000 the most. And I think in one summer, I ended up being on 15,000 followers in like 2-3 months, just of regular content. And, just posting things that I was inspired about and things that I like. Okay. That was one thing that was important to me, was to work on projects and pictures that I like and that reflects what I believe in. More than just like doing it for the hype.
Okay.
So we worked on that for 3 months, and then it was time to go home. And by the time I went home, I got a call from this agency, Nikki, if you watch this podcast. Nikki found me on Instagram.
Okay.
And she signed me.
Wow.
But I did it like the other way. Usually people get signed in Europe. and then they go to America.
Yeah.
I did it the other way. I got signed in the U.S. first, and then had to go back to Europe to get work because I couldn't work in the U.S. But I got signed to my
because
mother
of the
agency.
visa.
Exactly.
And this is is America, like, is the U.S. the bigger market? Like, is that the bigger place where you want to get
It just
signed?
feels like you can make it faster.
Okay.
Just because of the culture, I feel like.
Okay.
I did not know that there was a big market in the UK as well.
Okay.
So when I came back to France, where I was from, so I went back to my parents, just like, hi, Mom, Dad.
I'm a model.
Back. I did 3 months in New York. I don't know what I'm doing with my life, but I'm back.
Wow.
And I went back to New York another three months. Got it worked on my portfolio, and, you know, still like building my skills because I didn't know anything about posing.
Yeah.
Understanding lighting and like why this angle will look better on me than another angle, why this clothes look better on me than other people, or why I can't really wear that because it's not flattering to my shape.
Got it.
All that thing. And in February 2018 was my first job. I got
Wow.
my first job in the UK.
Okay.
And that's when I started going and doing all the back and forth between Paris and London.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I mean, so from playing around with it, right? Let's just say with modeling,
That's what
right,
it is,
and
yeah.
learning to your first job. What was that time frame?
Like 9 months, not even.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that campaign was with what?
My first job was with ASOS, I think.
Wow.
February 3rd, 2018. I actually
it's a
remember.
big brand.
Because
Very
it was
big
the only
in the
plus size
UK.
brand that was available in France.
Yeah.
And that will actually allow me to wear something else than leggings. So for me,
I love that.
I
Yep.
know, but it's so sad.
So
it was
true,
so
though.
sad back then.
Yeah.
3 years ago, it was really how it was,
Yeah.
especially in France. You know, like it's getting there now, but the market wasn't plus size friendly back then.
And I think it's interesting. So, like, you know, you talk about plus size. So can you just define that, right, for everyone? Because, you know, first off, I'm black and I live here. So I don't know that the plus size makes the most sense for me. So break that down for everybody. We might have to put like a little definition on this. Like, what exactly is plus size?
To be
Because I know
honest-
thick. And you know, I know a couple of things like that.
Exactly, but
Look,
that's how I used to
Chef,
define
don't
myself.
get me in trouble. You know what I mean? I know a couple things on some of that, you know, in my previous life. But what define that for me on what is called or considered plus size in the modeling world?
Funny enough, that's how I used to call myself. I was just like, oh, I'm just thick.
Yeah.
Like, what are you guys are talking about? Plus size? What's that?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't really know. And I think until today, it's just a little bit. I don't really like the word plus size. I just feel like people understand it better.
Yeah.
But a plus size, it's what's categorized between the sizes of 12 up to now, I think it goes up to a 28, 30 US.
Okay.
I don't like labels like this. I like curvy, thick.
Yeah.
But I will use plus because that's how it's categorized on
Okay.
websites and everything.
So 12. So size 12 and up. Because
Size 12 and up.
I feel like is 12 the average size in America? I feel
No.
like no.
It is not. I think it's more of a 14.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was about to say
14, 16.
America feels very plus size. we just thick as a.
Listen, that's
as
why
a
I wanted to
community.
come here.
Okay. All right.
That's where I felt comfortable.
So that I mean, so coming from France, I mean, look, I've been to France, you know, a few times. I'm not sure 14 or 12. That's not really the average there, like in good old US of A. So how was that, right? I mean, I imagine you've been thick your whole life. I don't think you just got thick. So what was that? Because again, right, I want to get into, you know, as we talk about your story now, on where this confidence that you have, you know, comes from, right? Because what I appreciate about you is when you define something like plus size, right? And in all seriousness, it's to me they're trying to say it's not the norm, right? And so many of us are considered not the norm. And I've always said, you know, what makes us different is what makes us great. But it's really hard to develop the confidence to embrace
being
that,
different, yeah.
right? Of being different. So when I listen to you and I hear your story from being from France and considered, you know, plus size, French plus size, whatever that is, that's different. And
Yeah.
that's clearly what's made you great.
Yeah.
But what was that journey like? Like, were you confident,
No.
you know, growing up with that? Or,
No.
yeah, walk us through that.
Well, like you said, in France, the plus size, thick, curvy, or however you want to call it, was not really a thing. I don't think I realized until I first went to the US and I felt like, oh my God, you guys are actually loving me and embracing me for what I am. And I don't have to hide myself.
Yeah, you just had to go to Atlanta one weekend.
Well,
I mean-
I never went to Atlanta until 6 months ago. So all I knew was New York.
Yeah.
But that was already a good thing. But no, it was tough. And I think now that I'm growing up into, you know, a woman and like understanding more of like health and everything, I have like a different look at it. But younger, I used to be bullied, and I think it was hard for me because I was always different comparing to like my other friends. My friends could wear cool pants. I couldn't because they didn't have my size. And my body just happened to pop out someday, and it's just like, okay, now you have this whole body that you don't really know what to do with, but you're gonna have to work with it because that's what you have. So but yeah, it was interesting. And I remember one day, and it was funny, that was 1 year after starting modeling, and I don't think I would have reacted like that. It was the World Cup. France won, by the way. World champions.
That's rare, but
Wow. Ouch. Anyway, we were celebrating, and this dude is looking at me and was like, damn, you're so fat.
who said that?
It's random dude in the crowd.
Wow.
And I was enjoying my life.
Yeah.
Shorts, you know, little crop top. Because I'm coming back from the U.S. where this is normal. This is
Leslie,
the norm.
giving them all of it.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah,
just like, you
okay.
know, it's nice. And I looked at him and I actually laughed. But I think that 5 years ago, I would have just went home and cried.
Wow.
But that's the mentality over there. That's what pushed me to come here. And it actually makes me really sad to say that
Yeah.
out loud and online. But that's really what it is. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to like come back home and help change
Yeah.
to that. But yeah, it was really tough growing up. And I think for like family members and friends, because it's just like, what are we supposed to do now? She has this body. We don't really know how she's supposed to get dressed. It's just...
But I think what's so powerful about that though is a lot of us, right? We try to force our way in to a place, and there's so many things that are stacked up against us right in that area, and sometimes it just takes just moving a little bit outside of your comfort zone, exploring another place where there's so much love, right? You know, my dad used to always tell me, he's like, you know, there's nothing wrong with being a big fish in a small pond. You know, because my mentality was like, you know, you go to the toughest market and you just got to crack into it, right, and give it all you got. And he's like, yeah, that's cool, but, you know, there's nothing wrong with, like, winning somewhere else. And what I love about what you're saying is you found another place to win at. And what's really interesting about it to me is now that you've ascended so quickly, right, into all these cool, well-known, like globally recognized brands, right? We're not even talking about local brands. You have global brands where now I bet they fuck with you now.
Well,
In brands.
brands and people in general. Because when I remember when I first started, I was 2 months in, and I remember being like, oh, I'm just going to stay a little bit longer. And people were laughing at me because I started posting pictures that were different professional pictures, which I never did before. And as French people, it was kind of like, who she thinks she is? Now she's like, she's in New York, she's big time, and she's speaking English, which it was not the case. I was just actually trying to find what I could do and what I will actually enjoy and maybe make a living out of it, because my goal was to come back here and make it here. So it was interesting to see how people reacted to it. And then at some point I was like, you know what? If they don't understand, it's okay. I'll make it, and I'll actually do it twice to show you that I can do it and do it better.
How do your friends feel now? Right? How do some of those?
Who?
I call them like the. Oh well, shit. There was that answer. You know, how do some of those former associates and people that you knew?
No, but some other friends are really proud of me. No, let me not be like that. No, some of my friends are really, really proud, and I think it seems a little bit unreal to them. It's like, oh my God, I saw you there, and I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm actually doing it. I'm so proud. And he's like, yeah, I saw Abercrombie and Fitch. I can't believe it. And I'm like, I can't believe it either. So it's always nice to have like the support, especially from home. It hits different.
that is just it's such a beautiful story, right? I mean,
Thank you.
because you locked in, you put in the work, right? You studied modeling, and I think that's so important because as we talk about a lot of folks who want to be Instagram famous, right, and some of these things, but what I love is you worked at your craft. Like you talked about reading books about modeling, right, and watching documentaries, and you shot for 6 months.
I was forced into it though, to be honest. Like I don't want to just make it look, oh my God, I was so inspired. No, the first weeks I was like, what am I doing? I want to go out. There's a day party. Why am I studying this book when I should be day partying somewhere else? But then as I got into it, I was like, oh yeah, no, this is dope. I want to learn more about it.
Hey, how you started doesn't matter. You know what I mean? What you told me is you stopped going out.
Yeah, I did.
In a New York summer, and I know a whole lot of folks that's not gonna give up going out on a Brooklyn summer. It's cold out there. When the summer hits, I'm ready to take my shirt off. You know what I mean? There's many of folks that are listening that have probably seen that
I heard
at
stories.
a few of these Brooklyn parties. So, no, much respect because that's real sacrifice, right? I mean, you really put in the work to get where you've gotten, which is incredible, and I think it's inspiring. You also had to come to grips and find your confidence because I imagine it's not easy to get on camera and to have that kind of criticism. So I would love to hear, what is that like, right? What is it like when people are looking at your pictures and making selections and all of that? Can you touch on just how it feels? What really goes on behind the scenes with a true professional?
I think at first I was immune to it because I was just so excited to actually be doing what I've been dreaming of. So I didn't really pay attention to it. But as I got more shoots, met more people, I started to pay attention a little bit more about what they were saying. And it was just like, oh, wow, wait, you're talking about my head? What's wrong with my head? I never thought it was an issue with my head. And I think the one thing that really saddened me a little bit.
Yeah, that's our helicopter. Do you have, or how were you on wine? Do you need more?
I'm okay.
Does anybody want more wine?
But
Mom, you want more wine? Scott, are you drinking? You what? Man,
where's
I know
your
you.
drink?
Legs in a couple hours? 4 a.m. Oh, can I have some more wine then? Oh yeah. You gonna do legs at 4 a.m.?
That sounds good.
I think you can have probably a glass of tequila. It never stopped you before.
Exactly. My cold time
I think
is
it's on
7
the counter.
a.m.
Yes,
tomorrow.
sir. You're gonna have to listen to it.
I will.
Nope.
This interview, really, I needed this.
Stop it. Keep listening. Hold on. Hold the comments till the end.
What's good is that like this kind of podcast is not really like so interview, it's really conversation.
Hell no. I'm learning all kind of shit.
Asking everyone they want wine. There's no idea.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. But
All right, that's cool.
I just fucking love your story. I think it's amazing. And I don't know all these details, which is
Thank
great.
you.
Like, I mean, you know, I know you like, you know, casually, but like this is like deep shit. That's dope. Like,
Yeah.
and I think that's what's funny about this whole like podcast experience for me is like I'm just super curious. Right? So
And I don't really tell my story that much.
yeah, and you know what? That's why we're doing this. Because I was the same way. I used to not tell my story. And honestly, growing up, I didn't hear of other people's stories. And the things that I was always passionate about and interested in, because I'm not like a huge reader. Scott makes fun of me. Chev makes fun of me. I call myself a conceptual learner, conceptual reader. So I'm like a Cliff Notes kind of person.
This ain't gonna be enough.
Oh,
That's
I
okay.
think it might
Just
just
a
be
little
it might just be
sip.
me, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh. Thank you, sir. Hit him with the twist. Hit him with the extra
You
drip.
have to twist it though.
Thank you.
You have to twist it though at the end. Yeah. Exactly.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. But like, like for real, growing up, like I would read autobiographies, like, and my mom knows, like I love like Monster Cody and just different guys, right? Like W.B. Du Bois, sorry, Marcus Garvey. I read their autobiographies. And I'm like, damn, like there was no autobiographies of like the modern guys, right? Like who I could model after that were dealing with the world as it was today. I'm like, cool, like civil rights shit and like Jim Crow, and that's inspiring for that reason. But I'm like, yo, like it's 2001. Like I need a book on those guys, and no one was writing, and no one was pushing that out. And I think it's because the folks that achieved greatness, for some reason, there was like this fear of sharing too much, because it could all be taken away, right? Possibly. And I'm like, we are inspired by those because, man, it's a privilege to be doing great things. You can influence so many others with your story.
But it took me some time to understand that, though.
It's hard. It's hard for all of us, but that's what this platform is, because I want you guys to have your stuff, and I want to not only give you your flowers, but I want you to share your truth on record, because it's something also for you, right? Because this is a timestamp, right? Like, this isn't like the end of your journey. This is a moment in time.
Yeah.
Now you get a timestamp, bang, you're going to go off and do so many more amazing things, and then you're going to do another one, right? And have another. And you're going to look back and be like, wow, look at how much I've grown.
But even just doing a podcast like that, like
I love it.
3 years ago, never, ever, I would have just like grabbed a mic and just, okay, I'll be comfortable talking about what happened 3 years ago. No.
Well, thank God. Thank
God
you are.
Yeah, it took some time. I wasn't even scared coming in.
Nah, fuck all that.
I wasn't even scared.
Well, now look, keep it rocking. So
okay,
as you were.
So, what was I talking about? Yeah, I think one thing that made me really sad is when I started shooting a lot, and I realized that people starting to edit my knees. And I was never self-conscious about my knees.
Edit your knees.
My knees, yeah.
Oh, like photoshopping, and stuff.
Because I have smiling knees.
Okay.
But I never thought of it. I was
I
just
didn't
like,
even
well,
know what
that's
that is. Smiling knees.
Yeah, it's just because I have like little,
God,
chubby
these terms
knees.
are amazing. Okay.
Yeah, we call it like that.
Smiling knees. Okay.
It sounds better than just like, yeah, I have fat on my knee.
Okay. All right.
But I was never self-conscious about it until I started looking at myself on website, being excited to see the pictures. And I'm like, wait, did that bother you? Because that was not bothering me at all. And that's when it kind of like gets in your head, and you have to make sure that doesn't get too deep into your head, and you get in your feelings, and then you start getting self-conscious about this. And another day was, her head is bumpy. Can we just get that out? The hairstylist looked at me and she was like, that's her head shape. We can't do anything about that. Wow. She was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. So you're really like being looked at all day long.
So what helps you to not let that get to you, right? Because for a lot of us, right, other people's opinions on us affects us, right? Like negatively, one bad statement for somebody can mess up our entire day, right? I've had to work on that, right? I'll go through a cycle of meetings, and one meeting is just bad, right? Like it just didn't glow, and I'm pitching to an investor or something, and I get that no, and it's a bit of an ego blow, and I've had to learn and work really hard to shake that off and go to the next thing.
Yeah, I'm still
right?
working on that.
It's like they talk about pro athletes. It's like forget the last shot, and it sounds like you forgot the last shot. So somebody has some comment or whatever, and you're like, next. What did you have to do like to get through that?
To be honest, I'm still going through it.
Okay.
Sometimes there's days that are better than others. Some days I'm like, wait, why is she talking about that? I thought I was fine. But in some other days I'm like, oh yeah, whatever, I don't care about it. But what helped me, I think it's like making sure that I do my work behind the scene, as like making sure, I work out, I meditate, I read my books, and like just stay away from this industry and the modeling in general. Like when I'm home, I try not to take pictures. I'm not going to say stay away from Instagram. That's not true. I'm still on Instagram all the time and TikTok and everything. But like make sure that I prioritize my health and my mental health as much as possible. And I think the gym really helped me.
Okay.
A lot, because you can't tell me nothing because I know I'm already working on it.
It's true.
And if I'm working on it, you don't have anything to say about that. So I think what helped me the most was being proactive and
Yeah.
work on things before people have something to say about it. And I was like, oh, I already have that under control because I know I work out and I know I make sure I know what I eat and I eat healthy. So
Yeah.
if you don't like that, well, then that's on you. That's the projection that you have on me. But I'm okay with that.
I think the other thing that's always really cool is I've gotten to know you, and I've never said this to you in person, but I'll say it now,
Wait.
is I think there's so much about like the exterior, right, of you that I think garners attention, right, and obviously just with the modeling piece. But look, you've come over here, and we'll have intellectual conversations, right? I hear how you and Chev talk. It's not. I think a lot of what is amazing about you is the fact that, yes, okay, you have your exterior, but there's so much substance. And I hope that gives you equal, if not more, confidence in a way, that there's so much more than just like what somebody else is judging from the profession standpoint, but there's more to you. And the reason I hope for that is because that's something I see with a lot of us, right? Like, your look is your job, right? And it's a job. Some people are going to like that. Some people are not going to like that. And it's the same with any entrepreneur, right? Your business just happens to be your person, right? Yourself, your body, your look, but it's not you.
I was going to say it's harder when it's you being judged on how you look. When I
Yeah.
have options coming in and it's an exciting client and you get released. It's
Yeah.
like, damn, was that because of me? Was that my hair? Was that my measurements? So it's hard
But
to
that's
like.
what entrepreneurship is, right? And that's why I think I was so fascinated about you coming on, because look, when any entrepreneur is working on something and they're grinding for hours by themselves, they're pouring themselves into that thing. And I always tell them, like, yo, that thing isn't you. You have to be willing to maybe move away from that thing or have that thing be critiqued. Don't put your ego, right, all of your being into that, because it's okay, right? That's like something that can help you make money, right? Or establish your future, blah, blah, blah. But it's not who you are at your core.
Mm-hmm. You
Your
have to
core
put
is
it
so
aside.
much deeper than all of that. So, I've had businesses that I thought were amazing, right? And early on, especially in my career, I was a passionate pitcher, right? When I would pitch, to investors or for clients or whatever, it was all passion. Like, I'm giving energy. I'm selling my ass off, right? And it's because the company was me. And I'm like, yo, I'm putting myself out here. And I used to have inappropriate statements that I would say, but it's like, when you're just naked on the table and it's like, I'm giving it my all. And somebody's like, yeah, that ain't it. And it would fuck me up,
Crush you. Mhm.
right? For a while. And it's, even though it was a business, that business was me, and modeling and those images and your posing and all that, it's you, right? And you pour into that, but it's not,
Job.
it's just the job, right?
It took me some time to like dissociate myself from
Ooh,
that a
yeah,
little bit.
that's it.
When I started, I was just like exactly what she said. It's just, it's me. Like, you're just gonna get me, and
Yeah.
I'm giving you everything. And then with the time and the releases and no, we don't want Leslie for that. We'll just use somebody else.
Yeah.
You just learn to just be like, okay, that's fine. I wasn't just for this job. It
Yeah.
has nothing to do with me. I'll just work harder, and maybe I'll find something else to do. And
Yeah.
maybe if I start doing something else, some other jobs will come, and then they'll see me and be like, oh, we should have had this girl before.
Mm-hmm.
Let us now reach out to her agent and ask.
See,
That's
now,
another thing.
Now I want all the smoke, right? Now I want to get into what we were talking about downstairs, because you've had some folks upset at
Yeah.
some of the jobs that
Yeah.
you've taken,
Yeah.
and you got a lot of followers, right? And you got a lot of followers that you care about, as well, right? You engage with these folks, you read your comments and your DMs. It's not that you have a company running your account, right? So this has become a community, right, that you've curated and nurtured, and because of that, right, comes you got you got a little bit of hate, right? You got some folks that have had some issues.
A little bit. It was the first time actually, because the community
Yeah.
has been pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, there's been like really like a lot of support, and people like to see what I'm doing, and like really are actually inspired, but really take part into what
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
So I think that's my strong.
Can I say what it was? Can I say what we were talking about a little bit? Is it okay? Can I put them on the spot? I'm not gonna name names because obviously I don't know who it is.
Don't give the company.
Okay, I won't give the company. So
Just talk about the issue. Just
so-
don't give the company.
Absolutely, all respect. So, look, you take on many jobs, right? And when you take on jobs, I call those folks, those are your clients, right? Like any entrepreneur, you have clients, and those clients come from all races, walks of life, etc. But you're a businesswoman, and what we were talking about a little bit downstairs was some people were upset on the types of clients that you've taken on because of maybe their ethnicity, right, or who they were, and trying to push you to a point where you only took on certain clients. And I thought I was upset. I was far more upset than you were, right? So look, I'll tell everybody, man, I come with passion and energy. So some shit'll piss me off, especially with people I care about. I paternal instinct kicks in.
Dissociate, right?
Yeah.
You have to learn how to dissociate.
I have to learn that, but I'm hot tempered. I'm a West Point football player. It is what it is. There's a lot of testosterone over here, y'all. But look, these some folks, right? Not a lot of folks, but a couple folks were judging you on and upset that you had taken some of these clients and thought that you should only take black clients and take on. And I was upset for you on that one because you're an entrepreneur, and I think not enough people acknowledge and respect you as a businesswoman and as an entrepreneur. And you're not compromising your morals, your value, but you are scaling your talents and your abilities, right? Your company in ways that are obviously going to help take care of your family. And I think we need to put a stop to that within the black community sometimes, on we can only take dollars from black people. That's not the case, because no other group feels like that. Now, if you want to choose to circulate your dollars within the black community, that's a different discussion. But from a client standpoint on who you take a check from, I'm going to say this to everybody. You take the check from whoever is going to offer it, as long as you don't have to compromise your morals.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I want to just say that shit out loud because that pissed me off, and so I'm still a little mad, but I'm trying to get over it.
It's okay.
I'm going to calm it.
It's okay.
I'm going to calm it down. But that was some bullshit. And so anybody who's watching this, they should have nothing but respect for what you are as a businesswoman, who you are as a woman in general. And I think I've never seen you compromise your morals, right?
I don't
and
think
who
so
you
either. I think I pride myself with that. I've always been careful what I do, who I work for, how I present myself as far as modeling and everything. So, it's just their way of seeing stuff, and it's okay if I upset some people as long as I'm okay with what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, look, y'all shouldn't be upset at that.
This is me saying it in a peaceful way.
No, I love it.
I processed the fact before.
I love
okay
the PC. That's some real leadership. I don't always have that. And you know what? This is my show, so I don't care. So fuck that person. And no, but no, in all seriousness, that look, we need to stop criticizing. Yeah, no, we but in all seriousness, we need to stop criticizing one another for the money we make, right? You are paying your bills, you are taking care of your family, you're building your legacy, and you're scaling your business, and you're not doing it in a way that is disrespecting anyone, and damn sure not disrespecting yourself, and that's really what matters. And I think let's use that as a moment to be more supportive of one another, because that's where it really should be. And so I'm always happy to support when we see you in campaigns. At least in my household, we go and buy it. It is what it is. And so look, there's going to be other ways that we're going to support you. So let's transition into what's next, right? So you're at the top of the mountain from a modeling standpoint, but I know you got some aspirations. You got some other things you're thinking about.
Yeah. Now
What
we're
is that?
talking about the Leslie brand.
Uh-oh. Talk about it. Talk
I don't
about
have
it.
wine anymore,
Look, I'm
but-
running out of wine, but go ahead, talk about that thing. Go ahead. What? Say it
We're
again.
talking about the
So
Leslie brand.
Uh-oh.
The
The
Leslie
brand of Leslie. Sidora. Uh-oh.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we've talked about it a little bit. I have a few ideas here and there. I don't know if we're supposed to be talking about like what the ideas are, but just extend myself and diversify and show that models can do a whole lot of other things than just
Yeah.
modeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we talk about it? What
No,
are
no.
we
I
supposed
think
to-
look, you talk about what you want to talk about because it's America now. Look, you ain't in France. You can talk about whatever you want. But I think without giving too much, what I think is really cool when I get a chance to sit across from folks like you, who have incredible influence, right, and have built a personal brand, which is incredibly hard. Is how do you extend that equity that you've established for yourself into other vehicles, to create tremendous wealth, right? We've seen this with the Kylie Jenners, right, and the Kardashians. We've seen this with Tracy Ellis Ross in Pattern. We've seen it with Gwyneth Paltrow and Goop. We've seen it with Will Ferrell and Funny or Die. We're watching it with The Rock with his new brands, with Snoop Dogg and wines, right? All these things are starting to take place, which I think is fascinating. Some very successful, some not. I think as you are now going into the next phase, I think that's where you're discussing, right? And you're looking at where does the Leslie brand,
going?
where's the
Yeah.
extension? Where does it go?
I think it's like more of a. I think I need to interact, and I want to try to help people a little bit more than what I'm already doing. It's really nice to be able to give confidence and show my work and help inspire people. But I think there's so much more to do.
Yeah.
Give more opportunities for people to dress nice and cool.
Yeah.
Have a nice skin or a very good diet and a nice healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
I think that's what the Leslie brand goes for as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be a good start. I've been thinking about it and looking at what's missing for me and what I think could help people.
Yeah.
Without giving too much. I mean, I think
No,
it's pretty
no.
obvious,
What look, I don't. You like I said, you get what you want. What I think is cool though is let's get into the essence of this, right? And so I'm not gonna hold you all night. I promised I wouldn't do that. I know you've been working all day.
I'll look pretty comfortable here.
Yeah, look, we'll open up another bottle and get that going.
Ooh.
See, y'all, you got to be careful when you have French guests. You got to make sure you got
Have
all
the
the
right
alcohol.
glass.
No, but no. In all honesty, what is your passion, right? What's driving you now, right? So, aside from money, right, and some of these things professionally, what do you think you were put on this planet to do?
Huh.
Yeah, I had to go deep. Look, I'm gonna go ahead and.
Keenan. After a glass of wine.
Yep,
That's
yep.
not
But
nice.
you warmed up now, and you got the fire. It's all kind of thing.
Wait, hold
I'm
on.
gonna peel back
All
back
right.
some layers. There
Right
you go.
here.
There you go. Look.
I think. I know, but. Wait, let me gather my thoughts. I think my purpose here is to show people that there's a way and you cannot be stuck in just like one way of thinking like I was when I was in France. And I think I want to help people see much more in them and help them either with a lifestyle change or new clothes or something like this. I think that's what I'm here for. Inspire and help people.
So inspire and help people explore.
Yeah. What they're capable of. Like I was
Yeah.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't have that person to help me be like, hey, you could be a model, I would still be in France, not be able to have a full podcast conversation with you.
Yeah.
And still shipping CMA, CGM containers on vessels.
Yeah.
I'll probably just change because I would have gotten bored and like do something else. But you know, I've been really blessed to be able to experience all of that and have opportunities like this. So I think it's only right for me to try to give it back.
I
And
love
help
that.
people.
I love that because when I interact with you, what I get to see is this level of like fearlessness,
You have to.
and that is incredible,
Thank
right?
you.
Because so many of us are riddled, right, and crippled with fear and anxiety, and it prevents us from taking chances, from exploring, and when I hear you talk, and when I hear what you just illustrated, it was about exploring, right? Exploring new chapters, new venues, right? And being fearless and being confident enough to do that. And I think that's awesome. So, look, I promised I wouldn't take up too much. We're gonna go down. We're gonna have another little bit of wine. Y'all don't think we don't drink that much. I'm just gonna have a little bit. Yeah, un poquito, as they say
I'm
here in
cheaper.
LA. But I always say I want to give the final word, right, to you. So we're talking about self-mastery. We've gotten a chance to explore how confident you've become, the hurdles of your story that so many of us, including myself, are able to take away. Are there any lessons that you want to just share from folks that you've gone through, this journey, right? The Leslie Sidora story, right? And you're moving into another chapter.
I just had an idea. Could she say that in French and then say that in English?
Yeah, I have to wire my brain and back in French though.
Never mind.
Yeah. See,
I can. It's fine. I can do both. I just
I-
need to like think about it.
he always be doing that. Go ahead and tell it in English, and then we can run it back in French,
Okay.
and he can do the mix. Is that okay, Luigi? He always be cutting
It's
folks
no,
up.
but it's actually because I speak a lot of English and I barely speak French now. Besides, if I speak to my parents, and my brain is just not
My mom understands French.
really. I would speak. Mrs. Beasley, is that true?
She's been taking Spanish. She's been taking Spanish for 29 years, I believe. So she's like beyond fluent like now, right? I think she's created words in Spanish that naturally means she definitely can grasp French.
I really have to. Besides speaking to my family, my whole day, my whole life is in English. So I will catch myself starting to speak French with an English accent, which is weird. And then I'm like, okay, snap back. Okay, French.
I'm about to say, because
How
they
am I
will
s-
make fun of you in back home.
Yeah,
Don't do
one
that.
day I went back to France. I was talking to my mom, and I was looking for parchment paper. Parchment, and we say parchemin in French.
Mm.
So I just said, hey, Mom, where's the parchemin papier? And she looked at me like, what? I was like, here, where's the parchment paper? She was like, Leslie, you mean the papier cuisson? Whatever thing we say in French. I was like, yeah, that thing. She was like, that's not how we use it. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, Mom. I got it confused with English.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I wanted that.
Yeah.
That's what I came here for. Because my first goal was to learn how to speak English.
Well, there it is. Well, look, now Luigi gave you the challenge. So,
Okay.
like we said, the final word is yours. You can say it in French, English, vice versa, whatever it is. We can put,
Little
supers on the
subtitles.
bottom if we
No,
need to.
I can do both. I think, okay, so I'll start with French. Is that okay? En français, je dirais, n'écoutez pas ce que les gens disent. Restez concentré sur vos... How do you say that in French? Restez concentré sur votre vision et ce que vous croyez. Croyez en vous. Et tout ira bien. Ça ira. Ça va le faire. And in English, I'll say... it's kind of like... It's super, like, random and regular. But I think just like, believe in yourself. And it's okay to accept help from other people. You can't do it all by yourself. I think that's one thing that I had to learn. I can do it all by myself. I'm really strong. I came in this country by myself, but I had help. People helped me open the door for me. And it's okay to accept help and to put your ego aside. Because that's how you do it anyway. I have to put my ego aside every day for
Yeah.
work. Because I'm like, I know how to do that, but you just have to, listen and do it regardless. So, yeah, I'll say that.
I think that was beautifully put,
Thank
in
you.
both French and English. I will have to practice some French, but I thank you for that. That's a beautiful lesson, right? We gotta check our egos at the door, um, and when your vision is big enough, um, it requires help.
And
You can't go at it.
sacrifices.
You can't go at it alone, and it requires sacrifice. So, Leslie, look, thank you for joining and
Thank you,
gracing the
Keenan.
stage on another episode of World's Greatest Game. You guys need to subscribe, all of that. You need to go and follow Leslie and support whatever campaign it is that she's doing. Stop all that hating, because she is amazing.
Thank
And look,
you.
thank you. There's so much that I'm going to take away from this, so much that we were able to learn. And thank you for just sharing your story. So,
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
absolutely. With that, we are signing off, y'all. Another episode. Appreciate it.